So if you were 18 today in the US and has to start all over again, would you still do bachelor's PhD?
Realistically, it's gotten...
This is Aravind, CEO and founder of Perplexity, a $20 billion company challenging giants like OpenAI, Google, and Meta. They just released Comet, the first AI browser that thinks and acts for you.
It also understands you, your needs, your budget, everything. It has memory.
I tried it myself and wow. It can book meetings, reply to emails, research products, even shop online, all without me.
Amazon has AI do the recommendation ranking. Google has AI to do the search ranking. So they can influence things and manipulate you to buying stuff. But for the first time, you have an AI in your hands. It actually protects you. It actually gives you power against the big tech.
But while AI gives you unprecedented power, it's also reshaping the world of work faster than anyone expected. And it looks like those entry-level jobs are disappearing, right? What do you think is going to happen?
I certainly think so. Like, people need to push further.
So is there still opportunity, or is it time to rethink everything? Hello, everyone. Welcome to Silicon Valley Girl. It is the first time that I have a repeated guest on my podcast, and your progress has been tremendous. We did a podcast with Aravind, the founder of Perplexity, in November 2023. The company's valuation back then was 500 million. Now it's around...
Actually, we were just closing our Series B around then. So it was more like 150, and we were just about to close around at 520.
Okay. And now it's 20 billion?
Yeah, roughly.
Okay. Can you describe this period of time in one word?
Exponential.
Exponential?
Yeah.
What do you think has played a tremendous role in this exponential growth?
I think our constant urge for like shipping fast, yet maintaining the quality, our relentlessness. Like, I love the word relentless. In fact, I wanted to buy the domain relentless.com, except I figured it was owned by Jeff Bezos.
Really?
So if you actually type relentless.com on your browser, it will redirect to Amazon.com. He's an investor in our company. That's like the spirit of the company. We don't ever give up. We are very curious. We constantly keep asking questions on how to improve the product. The first thing I do when I wake up is read everything all the users saying on different social platforms. I make sure most of the bugs are immediately attended to. And you may think like, oh, what really comes out of this process of waking up every day and just bug fixing and triaging and like trying to identify places for improvement. But we really believe in the mantra of like 1.01 to the power 365 is 37.78.
Can you explain?
Okay, so if you do a 1% improvement every day, how much do you improve at the end of the year? You improve 3,700%. You don't improve like 1% multiplied by 365.
Yeah.
That's the concept of the exponential.
Yeah.
It compounds. So it may look like small steps every day, but as the changes propagate to a larger scale of users, they bring in more users through word of mouth. And then those users are like experiencing all the improvements you're making. People feel great using a product that you used last week, and then use it like a couple of weeks later, and it feels much more different, much faster, much cleaner, much more accurate. So then people start trusting. We earn the user's trust through our accuracy, our speed of improvement.
And your marketing. Formula One, have you seen the spikes after like Formula One and when the episode went live?
It's hard to attribute to these kind of brand partnerships. See, it's very easy to attribute. You run some ads on Instagram or YouTube, and like there's a clear call to action button in terms of going to the App Store or Play Store and getting an install, and then looking at like how many queries that translated to, or whether that user ended up subscribing to the app. It's very easy to track this and optimize the funnels. It's much harder to optimize, okay, like if Lewis Hamilton has Perplexity on his helmet, how many people are actually going and installing the app after a Formula One race?
Yeah.
It's pretty difficult to track that.
It is.
Best way to track that is like brand awareness. Like, are people in the UK or people who typically are in the Formula One crowd, are they more aware of Perplexity now? And I think that should be the case. We have run some basic studies, but the core idea there is honestly to associate our brand with some of the greatest people of all time. Like Steve Jobs ran this famous Think Different campaign, right? He got the inspiration from Nike, because Nike celebrated great athletes. So that's why in the ad you see Einstein, you see Gandhi, You see all these the Beatles. You see all the people who really inspired Steve. And so that's one thing we've been pretty intentional about, like who we want to associate with in terms of the brand. Like at least in sports, Lewis Hamilton is one of the greatest of all time. Is considered the greatest of all time in Formula One, and so that's why we did that brand partnership. And we're also going to be doing more, like particularly in F1. It's a pretty cerebral sport. Like everyone's attracted by all the hospitality and like the race cars and it's very high adrenaline thing. But fundamentally, the sport is largely engineering oriented. Mm-hmm. Like who has the best engine? Who's licensing whose engines? Like I think it's all about constructors like competing for like who has the best cars. And skill still matters. Conditions matters. Tires matters. Like everything matters. So. We do see like a lot of people asking these kind of questions on the app.
2 years ago, when I first interviewed Aravind, Perplexity was valued at around $150 million. Today, it's a $20 billion company that competes with Google for our search queries. So how do you scale like Aravind? You start by making sure that every customer touchpoint works as hard as you do. And that starts with email. Because when you're building from the ground up, you're not just the founder, you're also the marketer, support team, and ops lead all in one. In our company, 21% of sales come directly from email marketing. So keeping that channel strong is non-negotiable. That's why I can recommend a platform called OmniSend. It's an all-in-one platform for email, SMS, pop-ups, push notifications, and segmentation. With 150,000 businesses using it, OmniSend isn't just a tool. It's how we build real relationships and drive revenue. Here's what I love most: pricing. You can start for free and only scale up when your business does. You're never paying for features you don't need yet, which is huge for small teams. I love their support. Even on the free plan, you get 24/7 customer service with real humans. I've used it myself. Average response time is under 3 minutes. And third, the platform is clean and intuitive, something that we need as, people who are doing it all. If you're sending a launch email, just choose your campaign type. Write a short, punchy subject like, "My worst business mistake that cost me millions." Fill in your info, pick a template, customize, hit send, and you're done. So whether you're launching AI tools like Aravind or doing something completely different, email is still the engine of growth, and OmniSend makes it effortless. Check out the link in the description and use code SVGirl30 to get 30% off your first 3 months. All right, back to the interview. There was this huge spike in queries in June compared to May.
Mm-hmm.
Can you attribute that to something? What happened?
I don't know if it happened in June or July, but definitely we grew a lot in the last couple of months. Actually, the main event that happened in July that I would say is fundamentally led to growth is like our release of our agentic browser, Comet. For the first time, you could have a browser that can actually think with you and take actions on your behalf and like actually go and do stuff.
I have Comet right here.
Yeah.
Can you show one killer feature that you think everyone should start using on Comet?
I love this thing because it's a very simple thing, but it kind of always works. If you want to go to, if there's some video I remember I watched before, but I don't know exactly what it is, and I can search for it with just simple natural language and ask it to just open and play from that exact moment. So, for example, there's a video where Jensen Huang says, "I would rather torture people to greatness than fire them." Can you find it and play it for me from that exact moment? So the point here is not that it can do video search or anything like that. It's how it does multi-step reasoning, finds the video, pulls the transcript, and actually opens tab and starts playing.
Wow.
That was the phrase I was hoping to.
And then you can chat with this video,
Exactly.
something that
Yeah.
I did yesterday when I was
Exactly.
watching one of your
For
interviews.
example, there's a lot of other videos here. I could go here. This is like 1 hour long. I could literally say, like, what are some non-trivial things Jensen said in this interview? Something like that, right? Like, I don't want to watch everything. Maybe he's saying a lot of things. He's repetitively saying that AI is going to explode, blah, 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 but I only want to know new things.
Yeah.
And so it's reading all the transcripts. It's particularly talking about, GP uses time machines. Like, I've never heard him say that. GP uses time machines. And of course, like scale and flexibility, science to application, omniverse was cost. So that I can actually say, can you just share this as an email? I don't know if you're connected to your.
I have. Yeah.
Can you send this as an email to Aravind Srinivas, the founder and CEO of Perplexity. You can actually even edit it. You can add, say, sent from Comet or something like that. And you can even refine the email if you want. And you can just send it, and it's done.
Right from there.
You don't have to open it. You don't have to copy paste this. You don't have to open this tab. You're going to have to like compose email. All this. This is just one example. You could also schedule meetings from here. You could say, order the leather jacket Jensen's wearing for me from me on Amazon. It's going to find it. Of course, it's going to be pretty expensive, so it's not going to place the order directly. So it's going to do a lot of these like multi-step things.
What's going to happen to businesses who survive on paid ads? Is it going to skip paid ads, or how is it going to research information about what product to buy?
So you can instruct your Comet assistant to say, like, I want you to just skip all the ads. When you're tasking Comet to go watch YouTube for you, you can task Comet to say, ignore all the ads, just get me the core essence of what the content is about. You could ask Comet to say, like, go look at like favorite Instagram influencers are wearing and go read the reviews of all of them. And then tell me what's best for me based on what you already know about me, and go buy it for me.
So how can businesses optimize for that experience?
I would say that what businesses should really do is like really focus on just building a great product and get a lot of people to be
like
talking
reviews,
about it.
right? Because Perplexity reads reviews, watches
exactly.
videos. So get as much content
Of course,
about your product as possible, right?
The solution shouldn't be to like paying people to like write great things about you, but honestly, like building a great product and getting the word out, and then people talk about it, rave about it, and then Comet reads all that and is able to like suggest that to you. That would be the way to go, in my opinion.
How fast do you think we're going to switch to asking our AI assistants to buy things for us?
I think you can do that already.
But I mean, like, there's still friction in society. And I remember you were talking about like how we were overpaying, I don't know, real estate people, financial advisors. But still, when I think about a person who's in their 60s, who's done it for a while, they're not going to just switch to AI to do things for them.
I'll tell you an anecdote which kind of convinced me why it's worth building these things. I was once having a haircut somewhere in Noe Valley when I used to live there. And another person was also having a haircut in the same place. And he was somewhat older. And he was ranting about how he spent his entire day until that haircut, like probably 3-4 hours, just looking for a new washing machine. Because it's a pretty expensive purchase. So you're going to like spend a lot of time deciding what to buy. And you've wasted your entire day just reading reviews and watching videos and like scrolling through reviews. And you end up getting even more confused than you were at the beginning. Right. And this is the kind of thing we want Comet to really help you. Like make really good decisions really quickly and delegate all the mundane cognitive labor to something like Comet. Like, why do you want to go read all the reviews? Like, it's boring. Like anyway, like people are paid to write good things. So how do you like get the signal from the noise? It's like you have to consume the reviews across different platforms, not just one platform. I could pay someone to write good reviews on Google Maps, but I couldn't necessarily pay someone to do it on every single platform. I wouldn't be that thoughtful. So definitely, if your product is pretty bad, overhyped, then someone's going to say something negative on YouTube or Reddit, or like and then Perplexity will give you a pretty balanced perspective. Okay, here are the 5 different things. Like imagine reading like 30-40 tabs in like the matter of a few seconds or minutes, and then telling you what to do. And it also understands you, your needs, your budget, everything. Right? It has memory. The Comet can answer questions about yourself, and like it can give you tips on how to do better. So I think that's the kind of way in which we feel AI is less about like whether someone's old or young, whether someone's like more used to traditional tools or like easy like quick to change and adopt new things. It's truly about the utility. But I'll give you another example. I was doing like a stage for like talk for a partnership with Motorola. I asked Comet like to go read all the like talks given by Jensen, Steve Jobs, and everything, and also read the current draft that was written by my comms person. And then I want you to edit it a little bit to feel a little more grandiose, but I still want to preserve how I speak. So you watch my interviews too, and you watch these guys' interviews, and you try to blend a little where I want to say some things that slightly feel more inspiring, but I don't want to appear inauthentic. And so and it did a great job. Actually, it did such a good job that I was like, damn, I would have paid someone like $1,000 for that.
Let's transition to 2030. What does shopping look like? Everybody has an AI agent they talk to.
Yeah.
So Amazon app is dead. Walmart app
I wouldn't say it's dead. Fundamentally, the moats for companies like Amazon and Walmart is physical real estate, the warehouses, the stores, like for Walmart's the stores, and like the packaging and the supply chain, like.
But the app itself, right? The shopping experience is going to be
the core shopping experience might not matter. This is essentially what we've been talking about ever since the beginning. It doesn't matter if it's Amazon or Google or Walmart. I think it's fundamentally like what's good for the user, right? Like actually, the founder of Amazon himself says this, like you always want a long-term alignment between the customer and the shareholder. And as you said, as a customer, you just said it, you don't care about ads, right? Like you actually don't want ads. You want what is good for you. So just show me that and I'll pay you more money. And that's the kind of relationship you're going to have with your Comet assistant. Maybe the advertisers are still going to exist. It's not like a complete end of ads. Advertisers might be trying to talk to the agent, not to you. But the agent would
But then I can code it to ignore the ads.
Exactly. And that's a handshake agreement you have with your agent that the advertiser cannot influence or cannot like manipulate. And that's what protects you. But I do think like you might be open to some ads. Like for example, let's say you have an assistant that works in your team, right? You're running a podcast, and so maybe there's a new microphone that's really good, but not many people know about it. They go and tells the person working in your team, hey, like, can you please tell Silicon Valley Girl to go use our microphone? Actually, it's pretty good. That's kind of like an ad to you, but it's being told to your team. And you trust that person on your team, so you know that person's not going to unnecessarily
evaluate, not just take it as
exactly.
Is that how you're going to monetize this experience?
We haven't thought deeply about it. I'm just imagining a future where ads are done at the level of agents, and also between apps. So, for example, you might be tasking Comet to do something, like book me a ride. And then the 3 different apps like Uber, Lyft, and something else might be like, hey, I think I can deliver the best ride for her. And then the agent knows your preference, that you prefer Uber, let's say. And then it could be like, you know what, like, I really want to win her business, so I'm actually going to offer this ride for free. Just tell her that the experience will be better than Uber. The competitor could say that. The agent could charge some revenue for the app's trying to get your attention and share it back with you. Which Google never does. So Google takes your queries, does a bidding process among different companies trying to bid for that query, and takes all the money. Doesn't share it with anyone. That's why their profit margins are high on search. But that's bad for the user because you at the end are getting influenced. On the other hand, I'm saying there are 2 levels of protection. One is I don't let you directly see any ad. And even if your agent sees the ad, the company that runs the agent gets some of it, but the user also gets some of it. And only that's the best way to continue to win the user's trust, by saying, okay, I'm actually open to being advertised to through my agent. And in return for that, I actually want some money back. You don't get to take all of it.
I love that model.
That way our margins are lower, but our trust is higher. So the lifetime value, the LTV, is higher because you trust more. And as long as the agent is not getting manipulated, and therefore you're not getting manipulated, this model could work. So all roads lead to a future where the ad margins are going to go lower. That's for sure. Because the user has an AI in their hands for the first time. Until now, AI existed in the hands of the advertising companies. Like Amazon has AI do the recommendation ranking. Google has AI to do the search ranking. So they can influence things and manipulate you to buying stuff, because that's what the advertisers are. Those are the tools being provided to the advertisers to optimize their campaigns. But for the first time, you have an AI in your hands, the Comet assistant.
That works for me.
That works for you. It doesn't work for the advertiser. It actually protects you. It actually gives you power against them. You have intelligence on your demand to summon and do your bidding based on the prompt and your memory and your preferences. And so that's a contract between you and the agent, and that's giving you power against the big tech. And therefore some of that money can flow back to you for the first time. So that
I love that.
yeah.
I love the way you think about that.
Yeah.
I hope everybody who's creating AI agents thinks the way you do.
Yeah.
What about other jobs? So I asked Perplexity, I asked it to analyze my portfolio.
Okay.
And I asked it whether I should fire my financial advisor. And it was like, yes, you should do this immediately. Like that's the first time I saw something that definitive from AI, because it said, this is strategy he's utilizing. He's buying very expensive mutual funds. Like, what's going to happen to these professions? Financial advisors, real estate brokers.
Yeah.
Because Perplexity does it now, and it created the whole strategy for me to rebalance and everything.
Yeah, I've thought about this actually. The way I think about it is like for real estate agents, getting the listings on like Redfin or Zillow with like a Comet like browser, or say you just have a recurring task that's running. It's not yet there, so people who watch this and go and try it. Doesn't work yet, but it's going to work pretty soon. Which is, you could just have a task that says, every day morning, just look at all the new listings on Redfin. These are the preferences I have. I know Redfin kind of already has some of these features, but it's very hard coded, and there's a lot of selector drops and filters that don't really work properly. But you could have something like every time there's a house below a certain budget, and that's within this neighborhood, make sure to like send me a push notification, and submit an application on my behalf and schedule a meeting for a visit. You have access to my calendar, everything. You can. So if your agent only shows you listings on Redfin and Zillow, I think they're useless. But if your agent is doing off-market deals for you, they're still pretty useful because those things do not exist on the web.
Okay.
I feel like having the power of like intelligence and computer at your hands, it always comes back to that, means you can push the existing industry to like work harder for you. Same thing with private wealth management or financial advisors. Like, if the job of the financial advisor to tell you like what stocks to buy, then I don't think it's useful. They're not going to be smarter than Perplexity, which you can go and summon and ask it to go read all the analyst reports on every stock and like all the morning day news, and like come back to you and tell you like the impact on your portfolio. What would Warren Buffett do if he had exactly your portfolio? Like it can answer questions like that no financial advisor can. But if your financial advisor does more stuff for you, like getting you some access to certain funds like private equity or hedge funds, or access to like funds of Citadel or something like that you cannot get, or like some startups, venture capital, which you cannot get through just the public markets, then maybe they're useful, right? It's all about like, you have this new power in your hands. So go and ask the people who are taking your money to do more work for you, or the contract between you and them ends.
And it looks like those entry-level jobs are disappearing, right? Because you're an entry-level financial advisor, you can only do like managing stocks. What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, I certainly think so. Like, people need to push further. Like, if you're just literally managing a portfolio and not doing much, like I have some private wealth managers too, and I think the way I used to like helping me move money around, those kind of things, because I don't have time to manage all this myself. They help me through their time, and they also give me some advice on like, what to do stuff, how to save taxes a little bit, those kind of things. So your value add should expand further than just managing a portfolio.
If we apply this to any market, how can you do this as a recent graduate? And do you believe people still need to do their PhDs like you did, or that era is over?
The fundamental thing you learn in a PhD is learning to learn. Like I did a lot of research in my PhD, which doesn't matter today, but I got the ability to like go learn a new topic, dig deep, understand everything, gather my information, consult like whoever is the best expert, which by the way is not needed anymore because you have tools like Perplexity. But let's say you have the ability to ask the right questions, and then you acquire a certain level of subject expertise to go make decisions and like branch out. That is what you acquire, that skill.
Is it worth 4 years?
That's the thing. I would say like I decided to do a PhD for many reasons. And one of them obviously was my own interest in the topic, but the other was that was my only way to get to America. A lot of Indians come here for masters. But you got to realize that in order to come here for masters, you need to be able to fund your own tuition fee. And I didn't have that ability. So PhD, the university pays for you. Masters, you pay the university. So that was one of my reasons, not the only reason. So obviously, just because someone gives you a free entry ticket to the United States doesn't mean you should do a PhD, because it's a pretty grueling journey. So I had a deep passion for the topic. I loved AI. I love the ability. I like digging deep into things. I'm fundamentally like curious about learning deeply about any topic. So if those are attributes that you think you align with, I think that journey is very, very, very useful in your life. I don't believe that you need a PhD to be contributing positively to AI as a topic, either as a researcher or an engineer or an entrepreneur. But I think if you zoom out and think beyond materialistic goals, like just foundationally as a person, you become a lot more grounded in like the willingness to seek truth, the relentless questioning, the Socratic method of learning, and learning to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like these three qualities are like reflective of this proverb or phrase, right? Like give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. Like that's how I feel about PhD. So that's why I would still recommend people to do it if you truly want to be someone that enjoys like learning about new things. Like maybe I can stop doing this thing and I can still find a new field or a new topic to go, and I can still bet on myself to like learn that and be successful at it.
So if you were 18 today,
yeah,
in the US and has to start all over again, would you still do
bachelor's, came here
PhD?
when I was 22. I finished my undergrad and came here.
But if you were in the US and you had to start your career from scratch, what would you do?
Look, I would definitely pursue my interests, but 18 is too early to know what you're interested in. A lot of people like think they know what they're interested in, but I feel my personal opinion is that 18 is still pretty early. So I would just pick something and try to do it well. I think people underestimate the importance of like having that inner confidence in you to bet on yourself, that no matter what you do, you can do it well. So unless you've done some things like that in your life already, like try to actually go and do something, like commit yourself to one thing and do it for a sustained period of time, because it's very hard to be good at something if you just do it for like a couple of months. You need a year or two to actually get really good, like top notch at something. It could be programming, it could be math, it could be AI, it could be like writing apps, doesn't matter. It takes time to actually be really, really good. So I would suggest them to like go deep into something. It could be undergraduate education. It could be like finding a software job at one of the existing companies. You could start off as an intern if they don't hire you full time, and then convert and like pour in the hours. Like I regret like watching YouTube videos. I know you're a YouTuber, so it's kind of weird. People are saying, and we're doing a whole YouTube thing. So yeah, you should watch YouTube and get knowledge out of it. But I remember telling Sundar when I talked to him that, hey, like YouTube's a great app, but I wish you focus more on knowledge and learning. And he agreed with me, because it's not just that, right? So I regret the amount of time I wasted on YouTube just watching like useless stuff. When you're very young, just utilize the time, surround yourself with like peers who would push you to be better, learn a lot, like be a learning machine, or like work really, really hard. And then you acquire that ability to go and like be good at anything. You can bet on yourself. Okay, like how do you take on hard tasks in life? You can only take it on if you have some confidence that you can keep persisting if things are not going your way, and like you'll see the light at the end of the tunnel. You have to have had to do it at least once in your life to bet on yourself for the next set of.
Is that where your confidence comes
Yeah,
from?
I've done like.
You're like, we're gonna take over Google. We're gonna take over this.
Yeah, exactly.
Where does it come from?
I mean, you don't need to take over. Like you can just be successful in your own way. But when you have a competitor like Google, it's very hard. Like that's what turns most people off. What turns most people away is like, how do you compete in a space where, okay, let's say when we started, there were some other startups that were trying to do the same thing. They're all not around anymore. Like they either sold or like they pivoted. So as you keep going every stage from the seed round to like where we are today, your set of competitors keep, going away too. And you're like surviving. It's like Squid Games. And then finally you're ending up in a scenario or the arena where it's just Google, OpenAI, and yourself. And funding wise, like we raised $1 billion. OpenAI has raised close to 80 billion or 70 billion. Google has like 100 billion in just the cash, and they make 200, 300 billion a year in revenue. So you are obviously competing with like giant monsters. So you have to like bet on yourself to like still figure out ways, despite the whole world screaming at you that you have to sell to Apple, you have to sell to Meta. The game is over. Like it's going to die in a couple of years. I can bet my entire savings that this company is going to go to nothing. And you have to be able to read all that and like still motivate yourself and also motivate the people who have trusted you to like be the investors or the employees who are working here. I always see like those who take equity in our company, they're basically trusting the leadership and the company to like deliver.
What do you tell yourself when you read those comments?
And tell myself that I'll prove you wrong.
And it keeps you going.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Do you think that's your main trait that made you who you are? Your confidence?
One of my important traits. I wouldn't say that's the singular. I would say the single main trait at the end is it's not primal or anything. I generally just like to learn a lot about any topic, and I enjoy the intellectual aspects of it. That's my most important trait, I would say. People have multiple traits, and so do I. And the survival instinct is definitely like something that's served me very well.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I mean, immigrants are all survivors. Survivors.
We
right?
are.
Yeah.
Do you still work 24/7?
No one can work 24/7.
Well, almost by the time you're awake.
Yeah, I technically no. I do spend like time working out. I do spend time with my family. So I do work or think about work almost every waking hour. So it's very hard for me to like not look at my phone or like not check notifications, not be thinking about some problem in my head, zoning out sometimes when someone's talking to me, trying to stay present in the moment. These are all like hard things. And so these are the things I would sacrifice in order to like do whatever I'm doing really well. People like to think like, oh, work is work. After you go back home, you just shut down Slack and like your laptop, you never open it and you're just like staying present in the moment at home. I cannot do that. And even on a walk, like I'm thinking about something, there's some phone calls. Yeah. So yeah, if that counts as work, yes. I mean, my mom, like whenever I was young, like always said like anything that's not quality, like time, undistracted time is not really work. Mm-hmm. And I've always believed that like, yes, I can be replying on Slack while I'm walking, taking a walk. That doesn't mean I'm really working. Some people like to count that as hours, and I know when Elon says he works 12 hours a day, I'm sure he counts all that. But it's truly like the time I spend where I'm just looking at the product and thinking how to improve it, or I'm like talking to some of our people internally on like what we can do to like grow the app more, or like what are all the new ideas we can put into the app to make it even better. How can we improve the orchestration of the models even better? How can we reduce the cost? How can we ship new features? What are all the new things we could be doing? Like those are the times when I think I'm uninterrupted state, and that's where I feel like I can do my best work, and that usually happens during the day. Other than that, I'm mostly just multitasking.
Couple last questions for everyone who's trying to build something in AI. Do you think opportunity still exists aside from like everyone's building a GPT wrapper, right? Do you think there is still opportunity for that, or people should switch? And what are the areas that they should be looking at?
Realistically, it's gotten much harder. Yes, like you would want to build a GPT wrapper because building your own models like basically way harder.
It's almost impossible for
almost impossible. And I don't even think people should be looking at it as like building a model once. That's the mistake everybody made. It's whoever tried to build models around the time we started. I was like, yeah, how much does it cost to launch? I even had an investor who now went to Meta, and it's like, oh, it's going to cost $200,000 to train a GPT-3 model. So why can't you do it? I'll give you like $1 million, and you spend $200K on the model. Like it's not about like that one model. It's about that relentless exercise of iterating the models, building the next cluster, hiring the talent to go figure out like what the next model should be, and continually iterating, bringing down the cost, improving the capabilities, improving the reasoning, all that stuff. That requires a lab and a cluster and the people and the milestones and like some way to like actually turn all those models into like a product and a business and revenue. And then you end up basically like saying, oh, you have to build another OpenAI or another Anthropic. Then what are you like? Why do you need to exist? Like, okay, where's the talent arbitrage? So that's why I think product is actually at least, a little more statistically probable. But even there, you have to compete with the likes of the labs themselves, which are building their own products, and the big tech companies, and like upstarts like us, and no one's gonna be like, oh, Perplexity is just gonna do research. I can go do the commerce stuff. No, like
Perplexity's in commerce.
exactly, right?
Comet,
like
right?
everyone's building horizontal products,
Yeah.
and that applies to us too. Oh, ChatGPT will never do shopping. ChatGPT will never do travel. It won't do finance. All that is like not true. Like everyone's going to do anything that works. So I would just say the bet you can make is do what you truly are obsessed about, because fundamentally it's a bet on yourself. It's not a bet on the market. It's not a bet on ecosystem, like what competitors will do, will not do. Like, don't try to be this whiteboard strategy master. Like, it's completely pointless. Like, when your idea works and gets like 100 million or like billion in revenue, always expect the existing people to go after it, because everyone's looking for that incremental revenue in AI because the capex is so high. So the only way to justify all this is to actually turn that into like business profits. And so they'll go after you. So the only thing you can bet on is whether you're so obsessed about a topic that you will do it anyway, regardless of all the odds stacked against you. And then you'll prove the world wrong because you go so far deep into that, and no one cared about the problem more than you did. And for us, like for me, like that's where the whole, you asked me what my most important trait is. Like I love learning, and this is one of the best apps for learning. It's designed for us. It's designed for our founders. Like we built it for ourselves. Key bet was everybody in the world loves learning. Everybody in the world loves having an AI that they can summon to go do stuff for them. Everybody wants more time in their lives. So I think build for yourself. Hopefully, that's a thing that a lot of people in the world want, and therefore you can turn it into a scalable product and a scalable company.
And get acquired at some stage, I guess. Thank you. That's a great answer. My last question. Do you use anything aside from Perplexity in terms of AI apps? And what are your top 3 favorite then?
Well, as part of my job, I am required to use other apps to see like what they are doing better than us, because no one's gonna be best at everything. So I have all the AI apps on my phone, like ChatGPT, Grok, Gemini, Claude. Almost all of them I have it. I don't have Copilot and Claude, but maybe mainly because they're not that mainstream in terms of consumer distribution. But in terms of organic usage, like I do go pretty often and try. I would say I've tested ChatGPT the most. But again, it mostly comes down to testing.
So you don't use any like wrapper apps that are specific for, I don't know, nutrition or image editing. So if you need something, you would just ask Perplexity and...
Yeah, if it doesn't work, I would ask it in ChatGPT. And if it doesn't work there also, for example, if I need to edit, and I'll just do my usage, right? If I need to do image editing, I've done that. And if it doesn't work on both ChatGPT and Perplexity, then I would just write code myself and do it.
I love that.
But that's just me.
You.
Yeah. Same thing with like search. Like if it does, like for example, we have an integrated tennis course, and I love tennis. I like following the live scores, so I go to Google and get the score. We haven't all done currency conversions all the time. Like we are still working on that. So I use Google for like some of the widgets they have, and then sometimes finding these needles in a haystack, like links. We're not like best product on that yet.
What do you mean by links?
Like there are some really old links on the like some blog posts that I definitely remember. I read it like when I was a kid, and Perplexity sometimes helps me find that, but it's very old links. So I still trained to use Google with all the macros. Like I know how to like suffix the dates and like all that stuff. So that's because we grew up like that, right? Like back then, like Googling was actually a skill. So if you knew how to like search for links with those specific phrases, and or contains and like those date suffixes, you can get whatever you want. And that also gives me ideas on how to improve the Perplexity product too. Like maybe teach the AI to like use some of these macros yourself, and then against your index you're building, and like train that to like retrieve these things with these keyword arguments. So yeah, so my life, like I think I mostly say Perplexity, Google, ChatGPT. I think these are the 3 main apps I use. Midjourney sometimes, because it has a pretty good aesthetic quality in it. And then, I feel like that's it.
Got it. Thank
I mean,
you
it's a
so
kind of a
much.
boring answer, I guess.
But yeah, well, that's you, right?
Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
That's you.
The thing is, like, Comet lets me do anything right now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even have to go to these separate apps. Like, Comet as a browser, it actually does better search than even Perplexity. Because,
Will you make it free for everyone with all the features?
yeah,
Yeah.
not every feature.
Mhm.
And we have to make some money here.
Mhm.
But almost all the features we think will be available to everybody.
And it's going to be on mobile too, right? Or is it? Because I'm only using it on desktop.
That's right. So we just announced today that the Play Store, like you can pre-register to get it. App Store pre-registering will be announced shortly. By end of the year, I think we should have it available on iOS and Android, and then also have it be generally available on desktop for both Windows and Mac.
I love it. It is a
So
game
that's the thing
changer.
with Comet, by the way.
Mhm.
You can summon it to go use Midjourney, go use Photoshop, and it'll just do it for you. You don't even have to
Yeah.
have these as apps
Yeah.
you explicitly open. So it's a super app. It's an everything app.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It is fascinating. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. That is so inspiring.
you.
I feel like we're tapping into future, like actually right now. Thank you. Thanks a lot.